in the nation's capital, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial names each of the many thousands who lost their lives in Vietnam. It is only a partial list of sacrifice because we're all veterans of the Vietnam War. And there is one other list in each of our hearts. I call it The Wall Within, and I'd like to share with you a small excerpt of that poem with you. There is one other wall, of course, one we never speak of, one we never see, one which separates memory from madness in a place no one offers flowers. The wall within. We permit no visitors. We conduct no tours. Do you know the wall I mean? I learned of mine that night in the rain when I spoke at the memorial in Washington, D.C. We all noticed how the wall ran like tears, and every man's name we found on that polished black granite face seemed to have our names staring back at us, crying. It was haunting. Later, I would realize I had caught my first glimpse of the wall within, and those tears were real. Because the wall within adds up the true cost of war. We can recite 58,012 in our sleep, even the day after they update it. But how many of those killed in action had kids? And how many of those got nice stepdads? And whose wall do they go on? And what about you vets who came home to your wife and kids only to divorce her because there wasn't anybody else to be angry at? How many dimes have you long-distance fathers dropped into the slot to see how another man was raising your children? Yeah, I can hear you hollering. Put it on the wall. Put it on the wall. You're damn right it's on the wall. And you remember how that came down? You told a 3-year-old his daddy loved him and his mommy loved him, and nothing would ever change that. But it did anyway. But not because you didn't love him enough, but because you loved him too much to be a part-time daddy. And you couldn't explain that to him because you couldn't explain it to you. I mean, what the hell? Who were you, Spinoza? You came home a 22-year-old machine gunner, for Christ's sake. You did the best you could. Put it on the wall. And somewhere, in a gallery maybe, is a portrait of American grieving parenthood, hand-holding Rockwellian caricatures of wisdom and forbearance, and oh yes, pride, sitting on the front porch of the township, waving their lemonades at the Greyhound bus driver. Baloney. The names go up, because every time you can't find Mom, you damn well better call Doc Smith, because she's up on the 2nd floor again, sitting on the floor in Johnny's closet, smelling his varsity sweater, with the sleeves around his shoulders, sobbing maybe something only Johnny ever understood. But don't worry about Dad, who never fished again, or watched the ball game on TV again, and won't talk to anyone this year between the ages of 30 and 40. He's feeling fine. He just doesn't exercise as much as he used to, but Doc Smith assures us there's no medical reason why the folks should have separate bedrooms. Dad just likes to read a lot these days. If you and I were men of common conscience, we might agree on a collective dedication to our walls within. But as for me, they could all read. This wall is dedicated to mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, wives, husbands, sons, daughters, lovers, friends, and most of all, dreams of the men and women who risked it all in Vietnam, while you continued to lose them during and after that war, with less a chance than they for a parade, and no chance at all for an explanation. You lost them to bullets, internment, drugs, suicide, alcohol, jail, post-traumatic stress, divorce, but never, never did any of you ever lose them to the truth, which is now being shared across this great nation in such an act of spontaneous moral courage, it's like may never have been seen on any battlefield in the history of mankind. Amen to that, brother.